Howdy, Byron Watts here, also known as Coach Life Pro. Hey, it's May 12th. Fantastic Friday, May 12th. So we're talking the chapter 12 from Proverbs. All right, two verses that's coming from Proverbs today, 12:24 and 12:26. All right, 12:24. The skill here for 12:24 is talking about quality and excellence. All right, the verse: diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in slave labor. All right. Diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in slave labor. So what does that mean? The effort to produce quality pays off both the short and the long term. Okay. Very interesting, right? You want to produce quality up to the best of your ability. Okay. I was listening to Eric Thomas this morning. He was on a podcast. He was just saying, hey, do the best that you can at your ability and then farm out the things that you're not good at. Okay. So as you see my videos here, I'm really transparent with it. I'm doing it to the best of my ability, not really editing. Okay. Don't have a team, just me. All right. And with a very small budget. But going forward, as my budget grows and followers start subscribing and more AdSense money comes in from AdSense and different things like that, I'll then be able to possibly go on Fiverr or find someone locally in my Legion post or in the community that I live and work and serve to do the video editing. Okay, but until then, I have to do what I can do right now and be as transparent and humble as I can. All right, humble beginnings. Okay, that's what it's about. Okay, the second verse, 12:26. Okay, and this talks about self-discipline. A righteous man is cautious in friendships, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. Okay, 12:26. A righteous man is cautious in friendships, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. Okay? Now, Dr. Henry Cloud wrote a summation up about chapter 12, verse 26, and it's called self-discipline. Okay? It's pretty long here, but I'm going to read it to you. All right? And this is self-discipline is coming from a 5-day study plan of self-discipline. Okay? But let's read this. Sarah heaved a long sigh. She'd been working on major boundary issues in her therapy and was seeing real progress in resolving responsibility conflicts with her parents, husband, and kids. Yet today, she introduced a new issue. I haven't told you about this relationship before, though I guess I should have. I have tremendous boundary problems with this woman. She eats too much and has an attacking tongue. She's undependable, lets me down all the time, and she spent money of mine and hasn't paid me back in years. Why haven't you mentioned her before? I asked. Because she's me, Sarah replied. That story, as told by Dr. Henry Cloud, is taken from Boundaries, a book from Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend. Okay, and so Dr. Cloud and Dr. Townsend illustrates the need we need to have. We need to form borders that will protect us and enable us to develop, and then yet identifying, erecting, and living within those boundaries require personal understanding and self-discipline, especially when those boundaries have to do with changing our own behavior. Okay, our own behavior. Sometimes when we identify that our behavior is taking us away from where we want to ultimately go, it could be challenging, right? Sometimes we need that outside help to say, hey, dude, sis, you're messing up, and this is where we need to go, right? Sometimes we could just lose our why because we're drifting, lose our way because we're drifting, right? Because we've lost our way, lost our why. Once we identify what our why is, then we should be able to get back on track, okay? But here's the thing. King Solomon warned about the danger of not exercising self-discipline. As we examine our close association with others, he spoke about the righteous man who is cautious in friendship. The man to whom Solomon referred was intentional about choosing his friendships with care, then continued to examine the nature of those friendships. You see, Solomon knew the harm that could come to a person who chose not to closely examine the personal effects of a negative, destructive, or even wicked friendship. This kind of self-discipline is challenging because it involves evaluating relationships with other people, some of which are extremely difficult to manage. Is recognizing their destructive attributes and then acting to change the nature of the relationship or to cut it off. Doing so requires a great deal of personal self-evaluation and self-discipline, because more often than not, a good deal of the relationship dynamic, for good or for ill, has to do with who? Has to do with us. Those who hold leadership positions find themselves in need of establishing boundaries on a daily basis. The constant demands placed on leaders before them force them to analyze and then prioritize their time and energies. Self-discipline is a character trait that helps leaders evaluate what they're doing, stop doing what's harmful, and start doing what's constructive. Okay? Now, not sure these past couple of weeks, right? This is great stuff here, right? Self-discipline. Chapter 12, verse 26 is talking about self-discipline and examining your personal relationships and examining what you do, how you are in that relationship. Okay? Now, when it says leadership, right? Leaders. Did you hear about Steve Harvey's letter that he wrote to his staff about setting appointments and don't ambush and running up on him? Don't come to him when he's in his makeup chair getting ready? You know, all of us have to put boundaries. And what Michael Hyatt says is called margin in our lives, right? Because if you're a leader, people are expecting and depending on you for a lot of different things. Especially if you're a leader that is developing followers and not a leader that, or if you're a leader that's developing leaders, you know that there's a huge difference. Okay, and in the Bible it talks about Moses' father-in-law Jethro had set up the first management system, because Moses could not sit out all day and be the judge for all the people that he was in charge of. Okay, when they were out in the wilderness. All right, and so Jethro said, "Hey, you got to have some courts. You got to have some people to help you. Right? You need to see the toughest cases, the people that you trust and believe in, and at a point to help out. If they can't see them, then they come to you." Right? So there's a system there that we as leaders have to put in place so we can go to the next level. All right? So today is Fantastic Friday, May 12th, and so that's why we was reading chapter 12 from the book of Proverbs, and we talked two Proverbs, okay, 2 verses, chapter 12 and verse 24 and verse 26. All right? Byron Watson, also known as Coach Life Pro. I am also the director of Men of the Covenant, where we have a teleconference ministry every second Saturday at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Reach out to me, ask me for that teleconference number so you can dial in. All right? Make the rest of your day a fantastic Friday, and I look forward to serving you and being with you tomorrow. Be blessed.